So I want to make a video discussing what happens if you're named as a defendant in a civil lawsuit and you don't appear at court. If you go to most small claims sessions, you'll see that almost a third of the defendants named just don't even show up for the hearing. So if it's small claims, if it's a matter of $7,000 or less and the plaintiff is taking the suit to small claims and you don't appear, on the day of the hearing, you will lose by default. So the magistrate will automatically enter a judgment against you, and he may have some questions for the plaintiff regarding the identity of the defendant and whether or not notice was properly served. And he also may have some questions about the amount of the judgment, but in almost every case, you're going to lose and you're going to have a judgment against you for whatever amount the plaintiff claims is owed. Now, things are a little bit more complicated outside of small claims court. So district court, superior court. What will happen is you, if you're a defendant, you're going to receive a summons. You're going to have 20 days to answer the plaintiff's complaint. If you don't answer the complaint, the plaintiff can then file for a default judgment. And what will happen is the plaintiff will have to have a hearing. He'll go before the court. He'll explain that service was properly served, or that you were in fact notified of the lawsuit, you ignored it, maybe have to substantiate the amount of the judgment. He'll need to show that you're not incompetent, that you're not in the military, and if all of these things are satisfied, then the judgment will be entered against you. Okay, so in either instance you'll be defaulted, whether you don't show up to small claims or you don't show up to superior or district court. The next step is that the plaintiff will try to get the amount of money that's owed to him through the judgment. So there will be payment hearings. Now if you don't show up to those, eventually the court will issue something called a capias, which is a civil arrest warrant, and ultimately you could be arrested and brought before the court to answer to the court regarding why you haven't appeared at hearing and why you have not made any of the payments owed to the plaintiff. And then lastly, the plaintiff can also get something called a writ of execution along with his judgment, and this would allow him to put liens on your real estate and your other assets. Okay, so if you miss the hearing, if you disregard the summons, if you don't show up to court, you lose by default, and then ultimately you could end up with liens on your property or a potential arrest warrant out for you.